The Forgotten Man in Darwin's Evolution Theory. The Untold Story of Alfred Russel Wallace. What if I told you that Charles Darwin wasn't the only scientist who discovered evolution? What if someone else, working in the jungles of Southeast Asia, had the same breakthrough but was left in Darwin's shadow? This isn't just a theory. It's historical fact. Meet Alfred Russel Wallace, the forgotten scientist who independently developed the theory of natural selection. His story is filled with adventure, danger, betrayal, and an unexpected twist that changed scientific history forever. But why do we barely hear about him today? Stay with me, because this story will change the way you see Darwin and the history of science. Wallace's early struggles. Unlike Darwin, who came from a wealthy family, Wallace was self-taught, working as a land surveyor to fund his passion for nature. In his 20s, he set out to South America, hoping to make a name for himself. He spent 4 years exploring the Amazon, collecting thousands of specimens. Then, disaster struck on his journey home. His ship caught fire, and nearly all of his work was lost. Many would have given up, but Wallace saw this as a challenge. Determined, he set off again, this time for Southeast Asia. Wallace's breakthrough in the Malay Archipelago. Wallace spent 8 years traveling through what is now Indonesia and Malaysia, documenting thousands of species. He noticed something strange. Certain species seemed to be changing from island to island, adapting to their environments. Then, during a malaria-induced fever in 1858, he had a sudden realization: survival of the fittest. Nature selects the strongest to pass on their traits. This idea was identical to what Darwin had been secretly working on for 2 decades. Excited, Wallace wrote a letter to Darwin, outlining his theory, and sent it off on a ship. The letter that shocked Darwin. When Darwin read Wallace's letter, he panicked. He had been working on the same theory for years, but he hadn't published it. If Wallace published first, he would go down in history as the man who discovered evolution. Darwin's close friends, Charles Lyell and Joseph Hooker, stepped in and proposed a solution: present both men's work together at the Linnean Society. The catch? Wallace was still in Southeast Asia and had no idea what was happening. When the papers were presented, they received little attention. But a year later, Darwin published On the Origin of Species, cementing him as the father of evolution. Wallace never protested. But did he really get the credit he deserved? Wallace's later years and his rift with Darwin. Wallace remained respected but never achieved Darwin's level of fame. He continued contributing to science, becoming one of the founders of biogeography, the study of species distribution. But here's where things get really interesting. Wallace disagreed with Darwin on one key issue: human evolution. He believed that natural selection alone couldn't explain human intelligence and consciousness. This created a rift between the two men, and over time, Wallace faded from public memory. Why history forgot Wallace? So why do we remember Darwin and not Wallace? Darwin had powerful friends who helped shape his legacy. He came from a wealthy, well-connected family. Wallace, on the other hand, was a self-taught working-class scientist who lacked influence. Over time, history favored the winner, and that was Darwin. But does that mean Wallace was less important? Absolutely not. His contributions to science were groundbreaking. Yet his name has largely been forgotten. Wallace's legacy. Wallace's contributions were incredible, and it's time we remember his name. Without Wallace, Darwin might never have rushed to publish his work. His ideas still shape how we understand evolution today. So the next time you hear about the theory of evolution, remember this: it wasn't just Darwin's idea. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more hidden histories, and share this with someone who loves science.